Hello and welcome. I am Amanda Williams. I am an LMT, which is a licensed massage therapist, and today I'm going to be showing you a stretching routine. The stretching routine is a 5 to 10 minute routine based upon various forms of posturing and stretches that will help keep your body mobile and in shape. Joining me today to help me with the demonstration is Sharon Vaness. She will be helping to demonstrate some of the little posturing and technique quirks that have made stretching in the past effective for people. So I'm going to be starting today with the top and working our way down to the bottom. There are some stretches that will require you to be on a flat surface on the floor or a bed, so make sure you have that available to you, the space to work. We're going to be starting first with the neck. Okay, so starting with the neck, there are 3 stretches to the neck. You repeat each stretch 3 times, basically on one side and then the other. You only hold stretches 1 to 2 seconds or as long as it takes you to exhale. The first stretch that I'm going to start with is basically just going to be pulling your head to the side, like this. And then subsequently, you would do it the other way. The next stretch will be pulling your head in a downward motion, but we're going to be turning our head slightly in 45-degree angle and then pulling it down. And then you would be doing it on the other side. The next stretch is a little bit more complicated, and it will require you to turn your head to a 45-degree angle, tip your chin up a little bit, and then put your hand over by your eye and pull back. And again, same thing on the other side, 45-degree angle, tip your chin up, hand by your eye, pull your head back. This is a stretch that should not be felt here in the neck, but more toward the front. Now I'm going to have Sharon demonstrate these stretches. She's going to try and do them, and anything that is not posturally correct, I will be correcting so that you can see. So talk me through. So we're going to start with the side stretch first. So she's going to pull her head to the side. Now we don't want to lean our body because that's not stretching our neck. We want to keep the body straight and just pull the neck over. Now we go to the other side. Then we want to turn our head 45 degrees and pull it down. But we don't want to pull our whole body down. We want to keep this up, just pulling our head down. And then the other side. The next stretch involves turning your head the 45 degrees, tipping the chin up, putting your hand toward the eye, opposite hand, other hand. Your hand is going to be closer to here, and you're just going to pull your head back. Again, make sure you don't pull your whole body back, just that part. And remember, the stretch should be in the front of the neck, not in the back. And then you do the other side. 45. Lift your chin a little bit. Put your hand up by your eye, pull your head back. The next segment that we're going to work on is shoulders and forearms, or arms. We're going to start the stretching with what I call hanging through the doorway. What this stretch involves, you get a doorway, you put your hands up at shoulder level, and then you step through the doorway completely so that your arms are straight. You again hold these stretches for 1 to 2 seconds or as long as it takes you to exhale. A more advanced version of this will be keeping your feet behind the threshold of the door. Again, arms or hands at shoulder level, and you just fall through the door. Again, you hold this 1 to 2 seconds or as long as it takes you to exhale. All right, the next shoulder stretch that I'm going to demonstrate is a bit of a free fall stretch. What that will involve is we're going to take our hands and we're going to put them behind our back. We're going to fold them. We're going to flip them out so that our arms are straight. And then with our feet shoulder width apart, we're going to bend our knees slightly. We're going to bend over and let our arms fall forward toward our head. Again, only holding the stretch 1 to 2 seconds or as long as it takes to exhale. So now I'm going to have Sharon demonstrate this. She's going to take her hands. She's going to put them behind her back at the small of her back. She's going to fold them. She's going to turn her hands inside out, straighten her arms so that her thumbs are up. And then with her feet shoulder width apart, she's going to turn real quick here so that you can see. She's going to bend her knees slightly, and then she's going to bend over and let her arms free fall forward toward her head. The next stretch that I'm going to demonstrate is forearm stretch. The forearm stretch always involves the fingers facing down. They need to be pointed toward the floor. If they're doing anything else, you will not get the benefit of the stretch, or you will be doing it incorrectly. Again, remember, stretches are only held 1 to 2 seconds or as long as it takes you to exhale. The first way we do the forearm stretch is we take our fingers and we grab them, we straighten the elbow, and we pull back. We have to make sure that we keep our shoulder down. Then we turn the hand over, again grab our fingers, elbow straight, pull the fingers toward us. You should feel the stretch in here for that one. When you're this way, you should feel it in here. Now I'm going to have Sharon demonstrate this. She's going to take her hand, she's going to put it out, she's going to grab her fingers and she's going to pull them toward her. We do not want to wear our shoulder as an earring, so we need to have our shoulder down and our arm angled down just a little bit so that we have the benefit of the stretch. Then we turn our hand over, making sure our fingers are always facing down, pull them toward you. Again, make sure your shoulder is level, down, not up like it's an earring. Okay, so now we're going to move on to torso stretches. This is going to involve the torso and a little bit of the hip. We're going to start with side-to-side stretches. So what this is going to involve, we're going to interlace our fingers behind our head. We're going to run our thumbs along the side of the neck. Then we are going to spread our feet a little bit further than shoulder width apart. We're going to bend our knees almost like into a squat, and we are going to tip to the side. Remember that stretches are only held 1 to 2 seconds or as long as it takes you to exhale. Now I'm going to have Sharon come in and demonstrate this stretch. We're going to interlace our fingers behind our head, thumbs running down the side of our neck. We're going to spread our feet a little bit further than shoulder width apart. We're going to bend our knees and we're going to tip to the side. Now be careful because we're not taking all of us with you. We're bending at the hip and we're not leaning forward. Make sure to keep it. You can also use the wall and keep yourself rubbing up against the wall. We also want to make sure that we don't tip our head. Make sure you keep that straight. Just because you're tipping your head doesn't mean you're actually tipping the rest of your body. The next stretch that we're going to do for the torso will actually involve a little bit more of the hip. It's a gluteus maximus stretch. The basic tenets of that is to lay on your back on a flat surface. You're going to keep one leg straight, pick up the other one in a 90-degree angle, grab your knee on the side, and pull it up towards your shoulder. So it's a little bit at an angle. You do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so now I'm going to have Sharon demonstrate this stretch. She's going to keep one leg flat, she's going to pick up the other one, but we're only going to use one hand and it will be the opposite hand. We're going to pull toward the shoulder. You should be feeling the stretch in here, and we should also be keeping our head flat on the floor. And she's going to go ahead and switch sides. You're going to want to keep it a diagonal to the shoulder, so not pulling directly straight across. The next stretch involves more of a torso twist kind of thing, or it has affectionately been referred to as hogging the bed, because most people prefer to do this on a bed. What you are going to do is you're going to lay face up on a flat surface. You are going to spread out your arms. You are going to kick up one leg and put it over, hooking your foot on the back of your knee. You're going to turn your head away from the knee that is down. The knee should go to the floor. Then you are going to switch and go to the other side. The object of the game is to get the knee down to the floor on one side and the shoulder of the opposite side down to the floor. Okay, now I'm going to have Sharon demonstrate the stretch, but I'm going to start out walking it through so you know where you're starting from a beginner's point of view. What I'm going to have her do first is I'm going to have her roll onto one side. And she's going to drop one knee forward, hooking her toes behind her knee. Then she's going to raise her arms straight up, and she's going to tip it back as far as it goes and turn her head toward the wall behind her. Again, the object is to try and keep the knee as close to the ground as possible and to bring the shoulder as close to the ground as possible on the other side. Now she's going to go ahead and try it on the other side. Okay, the next stretch that we're going to do for the torso actually kind of takes a little bit from yoga. It's referred to as Cobra pose. However, I have modified this a little bit for the integrity of the abdominal muscles. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay face down. We're going to plant the tops of our feet into the floor. We're going to put our hands right under our shoulders, and we're going to push up. Our hips stay on the floor. Our shoulders stay down. We're not wearing them as earrings. Then we're going to walk our hands one palm length out, and we're going to do it again. And then we walk our hands out one more time, palm length, and we come up one more time. Remember, we keep our shoulders down, hips on the floor. And we only hold stretches 1 to 2 seconds or as long as it takes to exhale. For another perspective on how far we're moving our hands for the Cobra pose, we'll get a little closer so you can see. You're going to start out under the shoulder, and you push up. When you come back down, you're literally going about 1 palm length forward with both hands. And you push up again. And then you do the same thing. There's only 3 movements forward, or 3 movements of the hand, 3 positions. And they go straight out in front, not out to the side. Now I'm going to have Sharon demonstrate the stretch. So first things first, we're going to plant the tops of our feet into the floor. We're going to put our hands under our shoulders. Then I'm going to have her push up. Now we need to keep our shoulders down. We're not wearing them as earrings. And we need to keep our hips by the floor. Then she's going to come down. She's going to walk her hands 1 palm length out. And then she's going to do it one more time. And now we're going to move on to the lower half of the body. We're going to do leg and foot stretches. The first leg stretch we're going to start out with is kind of a modification of what was referred to as a hurdler stretch. This will be stretching the quads, which are in here. What we're going to do is we're going to lay down on a flat surface on our side, and we're going to bring a leg up, and we're going to put it in position against our butt. We want to grab hold of the foot and pull it towards us. We want to keep our body completely straight. The other thing is, we do not want to raise our leg up and keep it there. We want to bring it back down so that it's even with the other leg. Remember, keeping always our body straight. Okay, so now I'm going to have Sharon demonstrate this. She's going to lift this in. She's going to straighten out her body. Then she has to bring her, once she grabs her foot, then she needs to bring her leg down so it's resting on top of the other one. You should again feel the stretch in here. Again, always make sure that if you have to lift it up to grab it, that you put it down against your other leg and pull your foot towards your butt. So the next stretch that we're going to do is going to stretch mostly our adductors, which are on the inside of our legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to spread our feet as far apart as comfortable, but also as we possibly can. We're going to keep our toes facing forward, and then we are going to bend one knee and lean in that direction. And then straighten out, and then go to the other side, making sure to keep our posture directly in line. So now I'm going to have Sharon demonstrate this stretch. She's going to spread her feet as far apart as she possibly can, and then she's going to lean to one side. Now what we don't want to do with this stretch is we don't want to tip. We want to keep our body straight. We also don't want to lean forward. We want to keep it erect. We also don't want our knee to go past our toes, so she might have to spread her feet out a little bit more. To help with this, what I can have Sharon do is come up against a wall in your house that's open and bare, and you can spread your feet up as far apart, keeping your toes straight, and then leaning against the wall, shoulders and head included, just lean to one side and then to the other. You should always feel the stretch in the adductor of the knee that's not bent. We call it sneaking. So the next stretch that we're going to do is going to work a little bit with our hamstrings and maybe into the butt muscles just a little bit. And this is basically your proverbial bend down and touch your toes, except it's a little modified. What we're going to do is we're going to start with our feet a little bit further than shoulder width apart. Toes facing straight. We just bend down, put our fingers to the center between our feet. Then I just walk one foot in, bend down, do it again, and then I walk the other foot in. Bend down and do it again. I alternate feet so that you don't work one muscle more than another and it keeps everything balanced. You can just slide your feet in if you want. So now I'm going to have Sharon demonstrate this stretch. The first thing that I'm going to demonstrate on Sharon, I'm going to have her turn to the side. When she stands with her knees locked, she has what's referred to as hyperextension of the knee, which makes a curvature. In essence, her knee bends backwards. This is a genetic condition, which means she inherited it. When we do this stretch, we do not want this leg to be in hyperextension. So what we would have her do is just bend the knee ever so slightly so that it creates a straight leg. That way we're stretching the hamstring, not the tendons and ligaments in the knee. That will create damage to the knee. So now I'm going to have her turn and face forward. She's going to spread her feet a little bit further and shoulder width apart. She's going to have that little bit of slight bend to her knee, and she's going to go into the stretch. Remember, the stretch is only held 1 to 2 seconds or as long as it takes to exhale, and you should be feeling this in the hamstrings. If you're feeling this in your knee, you need to bend your knees a little bit because there's a possibility you have hyperextension. The next stretch that I'm going to demonstrate is going to be for our calves or our gastrocs. So if you have a step, you can use that, or you can also put your foot up against a wall at an angle, but it's better if you wear a pair of shoes when you do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our foot up. We want to create a bit of a triangle with our feet so that we don't tip over and fall down. So we're going to put one foot out a little bit, angle it, and we're going to put the other foot up. And then we're going to lean into it. We want to keep the rest of our body straight, because just because we bend forward doesn't necessarily mean that we're stretching it. Same thing for when we switch sides. We want to keep a nice base for balance. Okay, now I'm going to have Sharon demonstrate this. She's going to put one foot out at an angle, and she's going to put the other foot up here, and then she's going to lean into the stretch. Now, if she were to bend over like this does not mean that she's stretching. She needs to keep her posture straight up. The other thing is that hyperextension that she has, she needs to be careful that if she does feel a stretch in the back of the knee, that she just gives a slight bend to the knee and then moves forward with the stretch. She needs to make sure she's feeling that in her calf. If she's ever feeling it in the knee, just slightly bend the knee. The last stretch that I'm going to demonstrate is going to stretch a little bit into our feet, but mostly along our shins. So what we're going to do is we're going to step a little bit forward with one foot, go up onto our toes, and roll the toes under and lean forward. You should feel the stretch in this part of the leg. So you're just going to step a little bit forward and roll the toes under and lean into it. Okay, so now I'm going to have Sharon demonstrate this stretch. She's going to go ahead and give it her best shot. Okay, so she has her foot even with her other foot. That will gain no stretch in the shin area. She needs to bring her foot out forward and roll it.